My name is Lily Carter. I'm 28 years old, and I've been living in a small, quiet apartment complex in a suburban neighborhood just outside Chicago for the past 2 years. I liked it here because it felt safe, mostly young professionals and retired couples. Everyone kept to themselves, which suited me perfectly. I'm not antisocial or anything, but after long hours at work, I enjoy the peace. That changed 3 months ago when Tom moved in. He was in his late 30s with an awkward smile and an unsettling habit of staring just a little too long during conversations. I first met him when he was unloading boxes from a U-Haul. I offered a friendly welcome to the neighborhood as I walked by, and he smiled, wiping his hands on his jeans. "Thanks. Name's Tom. Just moved here from Ohio." He seemed normal enough, maybe just a little socially awkward. But as we chatted, I noticed he was asking a lot of questions. Harmless ones at first, about the best grocery stores and local restaurants. But then he started asking more personal things. "So, what's your schedule like? Are you out a lot? You work long hours?" I laughed nervously, brushing it off. "Yeah, my job keeps me busy," I said vaguely. His eyes lingered on mine, and I quickly excused myself. Over the next few weeks, Tom became a regular presence. Every time I came home from work or ran errands, he seemed to appear out of nowhere, waving or making small talk. "Long day at work. Heading out for groceries. Didn't see you leave this morning. Sleeping in." At first, I chalked it up to him being overly friendly. But it was like he always knew when I was coming or going. It started to feel less like friendly neighborly chats and more like he was keeping tabs on me. Then came the noises. It was a Thursday night, around midnight. I was curled up on the couch, half watching a movie when I heard it. A faint banging sound, rhythmic but soft, like someone knocking on wood. I paused the movie and listened, trying to figure out where it was coming from. It seemed to be coming from Tom's apartment, which was directly below mine. I figured he was probably just moving furniture or doing some late-night DIY. Annoying, but not a big deal. I turned the volume up and tried to ignore it. The banging stopped after about 20 minutes, and I forgot about it. Until it happened again the following week. This time, it was louder and more erratic. It wasn't just banging. It sounded like muffled thumps, almost like something heavy being dragged or dropped. I sat up in bed, my heart pounding. "Tom," I whispered to myself. But what was I supposed to do? Go down there and knock on his door? Call the cops? For what? Strange noises. I convinced myself I was overthinking and went back to bed. A week later, everything changed. I came home from work to find police cars lined up in front of our building. Red and blue lights flashed through my living room window, and my stomach dropped. I stepped outside to see what was happening and overheard a neighbor talking to an officer. "They found her," she said in a hushed, frantic tone. I froze. "Found who?" The woman turned to me, her face pale. "There's a missing woman. They found her in Tom's basement." The world seemed to tilt. My mind raced, trying to process what I just heard. The officer explained that a woman who had been missing for months was discovered alive in a hidden room in Tom's apartment. She was malnourished, bruised, and terrified. Someone had tipped the police off after recognizing her from a flyer and noticing she had been seen in our area before disappearing. I felt like I was going to throw up. The banging noises, those faint, rhythmic sounds I'd ignored. Could they have been her? Was she trying to call for help? I couldn't stay there. That same night, I packed an overnight bag and drove to my sister's place. I couldn't sleep, haunted by the thought of what I might have prevented if I had just listened to my gut. The next day, I went back to my apartment to grab more of my things. The building felt eerie, like it was holding onto a dark secret. Tom's door was sealed with police tape, a chilling reminder of what had been happening just feet below me. I moved out by the end of the week. The guilt of not acting sooner still eats at me. I replay those nights over and over, imagining what might have happened if I had called the cops or even just knocked on his door. I tell myself I had no way of knowing, but deep down, I think I did. Sometimes, late at night, I still hear faint banging in my dreams, and every time, I wake up wondering how many other people ignored the same signs before it was too late.